I think we're going to go ahead and launch this off here. A lot of people might know me already. If you don't, I'm Ted Wolf with the local CBS and Fox TV stations here in Bloomington. We want to say thank you all for coming out. I know there were some other things today far flung from this, so but say special thanks, and if I can get him out here, to Greg Saranen of Under Wraps and La Tavala is a brand new line of food he's just opened. Under Wraps has been in business since April. Get Greg to come out and
Serving.
he's still serving. Okay. I'll just say a few words. This is provided exclusively by him. But give chamber members a chance to sample some of his delicious food. Here's Greg Saranen.
I'm not really good at speaking. Just kidding. I'm great at speaking. No, I just want to say thank you so much. I met Ted through the ambassador program, and as a startup restaurant, it was incredibly scary. And I learned a lot in the first 2 months. One of the things I learned was I have no idea what I'm doing. One of the things I saw was just the huge advancement of analytics in marketing. I also saw a lot of trial and error mistakes that I made in that beginning. We didn't really have a very large startup budget. So I reached out to the chamber and I said, please help me because I have no idea what I'm doing. The analytics are just incredible, but they're changing every day with social media, meta business. The third-party delivery channels are now doing crazy analytics that you could just track all this stuff. It's such a valuable tool that I didn't have time to learn. So I reached out to Ted, and he has been amazing from day one, and he put this together. So as much as I'll thank the chamber for putting me as a presenter, I'm more of a active listening learner. But I did bring food, so yeah. I'm very excited about this, so I appreciate you guys very much.
All righty. Thank you, Greg. As I said, delicious food. I've been there several times. It's definitely worth the trip. I've not tried the whole new La Tavala menu yet, which I'm sure my wife will definitely enjoy. For the presentation, I've been in the media business now for 35 some years. But as Greg mentioned, one of the hard things to learn is gosh, there's so much that's in the digital realm. I mean, I've been in newspaper, radio, and TV. When you get into digital, it's scary and threatening. But one of the benefits of where I work, I've got this guy named Brett Johnson, and he can always set me straight on this. So for this presentation, we brought in our very own Brett Johnson, who is with Nexstar Digital, and I'll let him take it over from there. That's scary.
How we doing? A couple of things before we get started. Oh, well, number one, we had a late cover for food. Do we need to get some food?
I do, yeah.
Take it. Not this. That's fine, but I'll keep talking. I want to make sure the food.
Thank you.
Formal. I grew up in a very small city, Illinois. My dad was in business for 40 years as an oil jobber, which means that he had Phillips 66 stations. So small business paid for my upbringing, paid for my education. And my dad is one of those guys that you have a conversation. And that's kind of the way I'd like to do this today. I mean, I'm going to present some ideas, present some things that really you should be taking a look at. I will tell you this. Digital is something unto its own, right? I mean, it's something new. It's something that, it's like, oh my gosh, it's one more thing that I have to pay attention to. And I'll tell you a little bit about, about my, so I've been in, 6 years in event marketing, back in the 90s, home show, boat show, auto show in Peoria, a lot of the, events that we did on the riverfront. After that, I put 24 years in media sales, mostly TV, but I did have some stints in radio and some stints in print. When I was doing the shows, I bought media, so I understood how media works. I understand how every media works, just from doing that for 6 years, and then also being in that media industry for 24. But I have 16 years in digital, and I'll tell you about that a little bit because, that seems like a long time to be in digital. In 2007, we launched CIproud.com and my life changed. I saw an opportunity to become someone that was knowledgeable in these things. And I knew that businesses were going to have to start paying. So much so that I wanted to go full-time digital in 2012. And Nexstar did not have a position that was digital. And I ended up going away from there for about 1.5 years. And in the fall of 2014, Paul Zarvell, our digital media manager, gave me a phone call. And actually, it wasn't even a phone call. It was a Facebook message. And it was a link. I clicked the link, and it's a job description for him. And when he saw that I had the message, he hit me right back. Exactly what you were looking for when you left. So I was one of the first 17 into Nexstar's digital media services, and I went out to Fresno. And I will tell you, that was 8 years ago. There's been 8 years of change since that's happened. I mean, everything that I was doing 8 years ago, I'm not doing now. It's all new. Like I said, it's one more thing that as business owners and be aware of and so forth. And we're just going to jump in because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some things that you can do on your own. That you can do. But there's a lot of it, and that the overarching presentation here is going to be you have time to do it because it is a lot. So but this is a way, we're talking about search engine optimization or SEO. How many people are doing SEO on their sites right now? Excellent. That's excellent. I'm going to show you some things. There may be some things here that you that are doing it may not have new information for you. If you're not doing SEO, so one thing I have everyone's email address. You're going to get a copy of this. Okay. So if you want to take notes, you can, but you're going to have everything in here that we'll talk about today. This slide I want you to pay attention to when you get it. Okay, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now. This is a funnel for digital marketing, and it has every aspect of that customer journey and which digital strategies you should be paying attention to for each part of that funnel. So top funnel, mid funnel, lower funnel, bottom funnel. We start at the top, Facebook and Instagram paid ads. Middle funnel, engage YouTube, pre-roll, device ID, streaming TV. I know you don't know what some of those things are, and that's okay. Mid-bottom funnel, engage. So organic SEO is something that we want to pay attention to. Lower funnel, we want to convert them. We want paid search ads and local SEO. And at the bottom funnel, just to keep things moving and so forth, we want to make sure that we are engaging them on social media. Go ahead, Ted. So local SEO drives local traffic. Local SEO is the strategy of optimizing business listings through a campaign designed to increase your visibility on maps and searches for geo-modified, geo-implied search terms near me. Okay, how many people do near me searches? Almost every day. I'm looking for something. I don't know what it is near me. So expected results, you get increased Google views, you get visibility for geo-modified and geo-implied searches. Increased foot traffic, calls, and or site traffic. This is local. I mean, what we're doing here is completely so that we show up on the maps when people are in your area and searching for services for what you offer. Merge duplicate listings, geographically targeted results, and uniform listings across directories. And we're going to talk about, we'll get into some of that here in a little bit. Okay. You have to excuse me. I get really dry when I talk, so I have to break for steps. Local SEO drives clear and desirable outcomes for business owners. Most businesses inherently understand the value that more foot traffic can provide to their bottom line. While organic SEO is a very powerful tool, not every business owner values website traffic the way they do people in their stores. Well, some of you find that to be true. Foot traffic, however, is essential for most. Local SEO is the bare minimum of what's required to be successfully visible online. Because of this difference, local SEO is an excellent starting point for a broader conversation about digital efforts and strategies. Okay. That's if we're performing local SEO, then now we can have some more conversations about maybe a banner campaign or something outreach to bring traffic in. Ongoing monitoring and reporting of local SEO is very important for success. Make sure that your digital provider meets with you regularly to make sure there is growth in your web traffic to support your SEO efforts. Very important. Because if you have someone that's only coming in and reporting clicks, the clicks mean something. It could be positive, it could be negative. Because you're not going to know unless we compare that to we see what that traffic is doing when it comes in. I mean, you might have 300 people. I've had this happen. I've gone to a client and I don't really need your services. I had like 300 people that clicked on my site. Well, let's take a look at that and let's take a look and find out that 250 of those people were on the site for 0.1 seconds. That's not very valuable. So those are the types of things that there's meaning behind those clicks. Okay, now I want you guys to understand you need someone that will you to dive deep and understand what that traffic is doing. Look at that. Local SEO is powerful. It's difficult to do on your own without a team, especially for busy advertisers. There's a lot to do in local SEO because there's a lot of factors that play into your success. The Google Business Profile, which was formerly my business, which was formerly whatever they called it, and they change it all the time. The Google Business Profile is just one piece of the puzzle, and it has dozens of opportunities for optimization. How many people have claimed the Google My Business page? You have not done that. Job number one. That's one of my best prospecting tools. If I search for your business on the side when your Google information comes up, it says, own this business. And I click on it and see that nobody has claimed that. Here's what could happen. A holder could come in and claim that for themselves and redirect all your web traffic to them. So we want to pay attention to that. While the goal, foot traffic is simple, tactics are time consuming and change frequently as Google updates their algorithm. There's 500 updates to a Google algorithm, and usually 2 movements every year. Go ahead, Ted. Local SEO introduces key concepts for other products. Local sets up organic SEO down the line. With very similar strategies and concepts, local and organic can support each other with a tandem strategy. Local emphasizes capturing traffic. Local SEO makes all of your digital efforts work better by making your site more visible locally. Now outreach tactics such as video, banner, and email strategies will have a higher success rate. Local drives awareness. As you focus on local visibility, consider that other brand awareness tactics can increase recognition outside the core service area. Big idea. As we move on to local ranking factors and how to succeed, keep in mind local SEO, of course. We're going to cover all of them today, starting with the largest ranking factor, your Google business page, so your Google Business Profile. 36% goes into that Google Business Profile, so it's very important that we pay attention to that. Okay. Reviews, 17%. Who responds to their reviews? You respond to every one of them. I don't care if it's a thank you. I don't care if it's, Google is looking at all of that. Looking at it. On site, 16%. Links, backlinks, 13%. Behavioral data, 7%. Business listings, 7%. We'll get into business listings a little bit because that's something that people look for sometimes. And personalization, 4%. One more. So your Google Business Profile. This is Google's repository for information about your business. Google My Business. This information can appear in the local 3-pack, Google Maps, and Knowledge Panel alongside search results. The Knowledge Panel can get information from Google Business File, typically displayed on searches for well-known businesses with local intent. What Google is looking for your website and your hours. Utilize holiday, you can put your holiday hours in there. You can put your view, you can put when you're going to be closed. You can put all of those, put everything in there. Keywords and locations, businesses with keywords in their business name will always have an edge for those terms, as well as businesses in close proximity to the searcher. So in other words, I've been at businesses before and they say, well, I show up first everywhere. Well, I'm in your business and I search it for you. Yeah, you're here because we're business. I mean, I want to go outside the business and make sure that we're not. The name, address, phone number, accuracy is key. They are looking at these business listings, and we'll get into that in just a second, but they're looking at these business listings. They need to see name, address, phone number the exact same way across the phone. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I'm in your business outside the business.
I just want to be, so if you're sitting in your business and you're searching for your business, you're naturally going to show up. You're sitting in your business.
I have a question real quick.
It's,
I'm a service-based business in everybody else's home, not my own, so I don't want to put my personal address.
if you are a web-based business, there are ways that you can do that. Okay, so if you don't want your actual address there is a way that Google has for you to do that on your business, on your profile page.
Cause I have the UPS virtual mailbox, but I thought that would confuse things and then mess things up. and-
Yeah, I've played with that before with different businesses. I think it's easier now than it was, 7, 8 years ago. To do that. I had a business in Yates City, Illinois that I just played hell trying to get them registered and claimed. But there are, for now that what they've done, because they realize now that there are businesses that really don't have a brick and mortar location. There are ways to do that and do your local SEO for that. But we can talk about that actually. Description and categories. Businesses may select up to 10 categories on your profile. See, right, categories are 2 of the top 5 ranking factors, and many businesses don't use them all. So whatever you do, I don't care what it is, put it in there. If it's even if you only get like a little bit of business out of it a year, put it in there because you'll show up, searches for that part of your business.
Here on the last one, I had a question for those categories. Is it, like, here, sorry, man, do you mind going back just for a moment? Okay, is this the category thing, or is it this for the service option?
It's. I believe it's gonna be the one above.
Okay.
I believe it's gonna be the one above. I would have to really dig into that and see what the choices were and where that is. But I believe that's where it's gonna be up there where the dollars are, because that's gonna show, how, what your price range is for your this, that, and then the things that you do.
And that kind of correlates too with the SEO, like when people Google.
Yes,
Like takeout.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so if you don't have that keyword as a category, then
Correct.
you're likely to show up on.
Correct.
All right, sweet, thank you.
So what Google's looking for, high quality images. Higher quality is better here. Don't worry too much about the file size. We don't care what, how big they are. Google doesn't care, but they want pictures. The pictures. Images on your profile should contain some branded imagery, such as your logos, marketing material, images in your storefront. I've just seen a logo. Just put a logo in there. That, a lot of times that will help, anything like that helps. Google business profile posting. Use this as like a low level social. Go in there on a couple of times a month and throw something in there. Maybe a post that you're doing on Facebook. Google Business Profile Post, also known as Google Posts, are a social feature on their Google Business Profile that works similarly to social media posts. You have the opportunity to share images, text, videos, and links directly on the profile. Add more relevant content to rise in rankings. The content in your posts helps raise your visibility for keywords contained within the post. Any post about your promotions, products, services, and more can boost those rankings. Completeness is a key ranking factor for the Google Business Profile. Any of the elements we just discussed will be helpful for local SEO. Having them all is just as important as having any one of them. Reviews. All reviews should be responded to. It's good practice to respond to all reviews, positive and negative. It shows Google that you're committed to creating a positive experience for your clients. It's also a great way to show potential customers that quality is important to you. You know, I always say, we don't have to like the fact that Google rules the world, but we do have to play by the rules. Unfortunately, we have to play by the rules. And, it's really hard to do that when the rules are changing, when the goalposts are changing all the time. A simple thank you or glad to hear you enjoyed will suffice for positive reviews. For negative ones, it's best to reach out asking for more information, your contact address to take the conversation offline. On-site and links. So on-site, this incredibly important factor is critical for local and organic SEO. Success is driven locally by NAP, name, address, phone number. Placing NAP info on the site, optimizing your landing pages, implementing keyword research, bring in suggesting schema, which is special code for your site that helps drive that local SEO. So here's some ranking factors here for Google Business Profile. Review 17%, remember on-site. So on-site, 16%, links, 13%. Links, similar to organic SEO, links help Google determine authority. Evaluating the content of the link and the pages doing the linking. Continuously developing your link profile is one of the best ways to continue to grow with local. I'm going to go off the ranch here a second and talk about CIProud.com. Because CIProud.com is what Google calls an authority website. Business model is not hard to understand. We have teams of news people that putting out breaking news all the time on social media. You have to go back to CIProud to get that information. Because we are changing that content on our site on a minute by minute basis, Google likes that. They like content change. So with that and adding content. So with that, our authority website, we've given us that moniker. With that, any backlink that you can get from us, anything that you can do on CIProud gives you a very good backlink. I've seen it happen in person. I had a business over in I've got that owns 2 restaurants over in the area. They had the old Pizza Inn, been in the family for 40 years. Then he's got another restaurant called Westtown Tap. He did a very small little thing with us that put him on CIProud.com. He used the Google News aggregator. Next day, in gold section, this article showed up. Get CIProud on mine. So I know that if you find sites like that are Google authority sites and you get backlinks from them, it helps your local SEO %. Business listings. How many people know what business listings are? Awesome. Any complete or partial appearance of NAP information. NAP information is your business's contact and location information. Google and Bing and Google and Bing are search engines and their listing services, okay? But also Yelp. Any of those places that have, now I'm going to tell you, spend money with Yelp. It might be more of a factor over here. I can tell you, Peoria, it's not. It's just not. I mean, there are much better ways for you to spend your money to hit everyone, not just someone. I mean, Yelp's a closed system. You don't have Yelp, you're not going to get the ad. So, they function on that. I mean, even social media, Facebook, 70% inclusion rate. Facebook, you're only hitting 70% of any given Facebook. We're doing a banner campaign, a video campaign. I'm going to find everybody. We're going to find everybody that you're looking for. So name, address, phone number. Some citations allow for more information to be included, such as website, description, hours of operation, categories, and photos. Go ahead, Judd. Listings, primary targets, search engines, Google, Bing, Apple, data aggregators, Foursquare, major directories, Yelp, TripAdvisor, secondary targets, industry-specific platforms, professional associations in your industry, chambers of commerce. All of these are listings. Supplementary targets throughout the web, blogs, news sites, apps, maps, and more. Consistency is key. Listing can appear incorrect for any of the following reasons. Different business names, phone numbers, addresses, differences in road notation, And I've seen, you don't have, a road notation on the end of it, and you've got other ones that do. It's gonna, Google's gonna ding you a little bit. Every one of those things is not, that's not right. Differences in spacing and capitalization. Business listings, missing business information makes it extremely hard to be found. This tends to be businesses' most significant opportunity. I see that quite a bit. Incorrect listings, inconsistent information can cause confusion that hurts local visibility. Correct listings, search engines find consistent information across listings. They can information is accurate. Duplicate listings, some directories will contain duplicate listings of a business location, and those duplicates need to be eliminated. A consistent, accurate profile. Top tier.
How do you know which one's the duplicate?
Well, you search for them on you search for it. Search for your business on there and make sure that you're not listed already. So that you're not putting another one in there. Top tier listings. Here are some of the examples of the top tier directories we optimized during a local SEO campaign. TripAdvisor, Apple Maps, Better Business Bureau, MapQuest, Amazon Alexa, Foursquare. Information, go ahead. Behavioral data and personalization. Behavioral data is based on user behavior. Personalization is based on user choices. So down here, you can see that 7% and 4% on behavioral data and personalization. These factors are determined by the searchers on Google search. Result, there's a whole lot we can do to influence them. Keep in mind, we need to influence every part of the algorithm that we do. Local SEO and voice search. Optimization of the Google Business Profile listing is the cornerstone for preparing a business for voice search. Ensuring the correct categories, attributes, content, and NAP information are key for Google and all of the most important platforms for voice search. Our efforts to optimize for voice search can also be boosted by Schema, special code that can further support visibility on voice search. Local SEO and voice search platforms tactics for Alexa, for search, Bing, top tier management, business listings, Yelp managed through top tier, reviews, Yelp, top tier management, review monitoring. So, basically we want to make sure that we're getting all of any system that's accepting that. Digital is a fire hose of information. Ted knows that I pretty much use that phrase every time that we have an appointment. It doesn't matter where I talk for 15 minutes or 45. It's a lot of information. So we just like that, right? So yeah, get it off, Ted, get it off. Any questions? Any questions I can answer?
The UHF,
Yes.
that is awesome.
Yeah, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take that phrase that I use and I said, I remember UHF and I remember drink from the fire hose. I'm gonna find that Jeff and I'm gonna put that in.
Fantastic.
But it is, I mean, it's a lot of information.
Is this type of thing as helpful for nonprofits as it is for businesses? So just follow the same.
Yes, because, I mean, think of people that want to donate, think of people that want to, I mean, they're looking for you.
Right.
People that need your services, they're looking for you. So yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
So a question about the voice search. So I've been getting phone call at least every day from these companies telling me, because obviously I have a Google profile and everything, they found me, they know I don't have this.
Mhm.
So they've been calling me every single day. I don't know what company we could trust with giving them my, I don't want to get scammed.
Sure.
You know, like I want to be able to trust the company to get this voice thing activated.
Might have one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cause yeah, I literally once, twice.
To be honest with you, so when I started in this 8 years ago. It wasn't Nexstar Digital. Nexstar Digital is the most obvious name that they should have called it, but we had people in our corporate world that thinks pretty and nice and make up names that have nothing to do with anything that we do. So the first name that we had is Tactive Digital. What does Tactive mean? No idea. I have no idea. And then they changed it. I mean, we had like 5 names. They changed it to hyphen, okay? HYFN. You had to explain that one. It's like, make it harder for me, will you? Please. So then we switched to Nexstar Digital, but I get calls. I get calls on my office phone, because that's the one that we list for Nexstar Digital. I get calls on my office phone for Tactive Digital from Google people, and I have to tell them business is closed. Or if they want, talk to Dallas, that's where you need to call Dallas. I can do nothing for you here. I'm cog in a wheel. I mean, we're in 100 markets with 200 TV stations. I'm one of, 200 of us across the country. What else? Yes, sir.
Gets those Google
Oh, every day.
diddly.
It's my cell phone too, because I have like my business line on my phone. It's all day, every day.
Yep.
Whether I'm open or not open or 9 o'clock at night. Oh,
If you owned your own business and had a small budget, nothing for like a very large campaign, where would you, with your expertise, suggest or apply that?
Well, matter of fact, you're asking the question. We do have small package that takes care of locally. It's 300 a month. And it's actually, there's two levels. 300 a month, we will monitor your reviews. 600 a month will actually answer them for you. And with some other things too. I mean, that's probably the biggest.
Kind of a general SEO question. I go through spells of diving into it more than others, just very.
Well, you could go down a deep, dark rabbit hole.
Right. I gather one time anything and everything on your website, you can annotate, like I build my own website. So you go in behind the scenes and like, I go to every image, every video, I don't know if paragraph page, you can put in
All text.
information and then I figure it's a no brainer, but you encourage to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Is it worth your while? Cause I figure it's more digital information to get them hooks out there and that's kind of.
Anything that you can do that Google can grab a hold of and look at, because, Google is nothing more than an algorithm. I mean, all it is crawling. That's all it does all day long is crawl websites, and it's indexing all of that information. And if it's not seeing the signals on the back of that website, if it's not seeing what it needs to do. Now, I'll tell you this, I'm going to give you my website spiel. 30% of websites across the web are built on WordPress. 30% of websites across the web are built on WordPress. WordPress is an amazing platform. It has built-in SEO, starting SEO, and that we're a hold of. It's very easy for my people, for my strategists, and for my people who are working in this to work with a WordPress site. Wix, Square, GoDaddy. There's just not enough. I mean, I can go into I could do a whole presentation just on that, because there's just not enough for Google to hold up on the back end of that. For us, there's nothing for us to work on because everything's contained within, and it's all proprietary. I do have a gal that builds websites in Peoria. She's been vetted by Nexstar. I had a bad experience my first year, and I ran into her, and she is a WordPress professional. She does Word camps across the country. I mean, I can't believe that we've got her in Peoria, and she's not expensive. And, tell you, the day of the $10,000 5-page website is over. It is over. And, I know that in the beginning that some of you got taken by someone that misrepresented. It just doesn't. You don't have to spend that kind of money. And when you do buy the website, it's yours. And now she does host as well. If you host with her, then she'll give you time every month. She's nice. So that's just, those things are available.
you mean like you create your own website and she just kind of.
Hosting is where you park it. Hosting would be where you park your website. So if you use GoDaddy, GoDaddy is a hosting service. Don't recommend GoDaddy because they don't do a whole lot of security updates, and you're on a server next to all kinds of different businesses. You just don't know what's going to happen. She uses she uses a server farm down in St. Louis, and she's got like several redundancies. Certainly can. Certainly can. Certainly can. Be more happy to.
So you said WordPress would be the one that you would go with first, but Wix, Square, and GoDaddy are kind of lower
I
level.
know they're easy. I get that. They have advertising budgets, obviously. So they're putting their money in their advertising budget. They're not putting it in.
You had mentioned banner ads and like a pretty good visible way of marketing. How do you kind of just where do you go to just do banner ads?
You have to find someone that can actually do the campaign. It's hooked up to all the trade desks because of it, you know, there's 14 different trade desks. That what I mean by trade desk is basically, it's a group of websites. Google is one provider of websites to serve on, not the biggest. So there's only, and a lot of people, if you go into, I hear a lot of people, well, I'm doing Google ads, I'm doing ads through Google. Okay, that's great. But if you're doing banner ads and anything else other than SEM through Google, you're only using the Google trade desk. So it's not, you know, I mean, you're only using one, there's 14. So you're missing websites. There's websites you're missing.
Here, sorry, say that one more time. I missed.
There's websites that you're going to miss if you only use Google if you're going to Google and doing display ads, using Google for your display ads, you're only using the Google Exchange Desk. You're only using their group of websites. There's 14 of those exchanges across the web. We use all of them. Use every one of them. And when someone make sure that we've got that spread across the entire web, because we want to follow. I mean, you know, really, the bottom line is we're following these things we carry around in our pockets. I mean, that's what we're targeting. I mean, these things, this is what people are doing on everything on. So this is what we want to mention from. As far as banner ads, I'll tell you my philosophy on banner ads. I think banner ads are great. I think video is better. I think that banner ads are very, very good as a part of the strategy, because I think that people, but I do ad blockers and third-party data going away, and you know, everything else that is across the web. I think that a lot of people will skip those banner ads. Now, everything works. I mean, a lot of this is still working on the marketing concepts that we talked about, reach and frequency. How many people did we reach, and how many times did we reach them in a month in order to get the desired result that we want? That's still true on the web. I mean, if you have something flash across your screen, I mean, you might not click on it, but if you have it flash across your screen 2 or 3 times, I mean, you're going to remember it. I mean, just like TV. I mean, just like watching commercials and so on. So, certain part of what we do is still reach and frequency. It's not always about, you know, how many clicks and so forth we have into the site. That's a measurement. It's something we can measure. And then I want to also, I mean, maybe I mentioned this, maybe I didn't. I know I had some conversations prior to getting up here, but you know, I mean, we want to see what that traffic looks like. I did say something about that earlier. I want to see what the traffic looks like new to your website.
When you say Google's one of 14, what are the other ones, like Yahoo or just other platforms?
No, they're just other platforms. They're just other exchange desks across the. I'm not sure what all of them are called.
We as users or consumers not thinking about marketing our own business, as the general consumer, how do they stumble across those? Is it through Google and like looking on other things that comes to them? Or if they're not on Google, they're not getting one of the other 13. I'm not tracking how that works.
So basically, Google, in addition to being the search engine that it is, it also houses a group of websites in case there's also people. And basically what happens is this: if I have a website, if I have, let's say that I own Forbes.com, and Forbes.com, we have ad space on our website. Okay. And I want to market that ad space. Well, I'm going to go to someone like a Google or one of those 14 ad exchanges to list my site on there so that I can accept ads. And that's how they get paid. Does that make more sense? Okay.
Seems like they got
Google is one of those platforms.
Is there any others we recognize?
Well, I name wise, no, because I think ad choice is the name.
Is it like you reserve a space on your site that'll feed different ads?
That's how that works. Yeah, that's how it works. If I do a banner campaign, we're going to do 6 sizes. So we don't know from one website to another what those goals are going to be. Now, they're standard size. Skyscraper ad, at the top, or bottom of the. But I'm going to do probably 6 different sizes because I just don't know what's going to show up on any given website. What we do, the way that we do things, we serve on what ComScore calls the top 1,000 websites to serve. So if you get a report from us, you're going to see CNN.com, FoxSports.com, and the websites that people go to, People.com. The way that I pick those websites is with what we call audience segments. And those audience segments, if I pick seniors and retirement, then it's going to be a website like AARP.com, Gardens.com, things of that nature. And I've got just a plethora of different audience insights that I can pull from that. I always pick weather, because we're checking weather on our devices like 7 times a day. So weather is always going to be in there. I'm always going to probably pick national newspapers and radio, because that will give us local sites. If I pick national newspapers, I know PJ Star is going to show up. I know the PJ Star, and I know that the Paragraph is going to show up. If I pick radio, I know we will place. If I pick radio and we're doing streaming audio, which we do, it's on Spotify and Odyssey and podcasts. If I pick something like that, we're going to place on the Cumulus streaming. So, there's that, and those are just things that I've learned by doing. Stay years. Yes, sir.
What's the relationship between Google search and Google?
Well, Google search. So when you optimize your website and optimize your web presence for Google, includes maps. Okay, so it's that the relationship there is that Google is taking the location data from the information that you give it, the information that it gathers from your business, and it's transferring that to Google Maps so that you.
So, I don't know how we do it. We're a nonprofit. We have 21 preserves in this area.
Okay.
I can go on Google Maps and I can put in Parklands Foundation Chinkapin. It'll come. And Parklands Foundation Merwin. It'll come. How did that get in there? The person that would know in our foundation isn't here.
How does that work?
How do I?
So within that profile, within that business profile, there's a way that you can list all of your locations, all those locations in there. And when you do that, then Google's going to take that information and do it. There's a way to do that it used to be this, and I remember this story too. American Pest Control over in Kansas City, where I grew up, they have locations all over. Well, they had someone from, I don't know, Hebu or one of the telephone companies that was doing digital. They were told that they had to have a Google business profile for every location. So they had a Google business profile for every location that they had. And last year we met with them and I said, well, you guys you need to fix this. So they actually did it themselves and they had to get it down to one and list all the locations. And that's how that works.
It's interesting because they don't have addresses. So
Are they on the maps?
we're located in Normal or
Okay.
College,
Right.
but the preserves do not have addresses. Yeah, about to try and make them.
Well, there's gonna be Latin longitude, right? So I mean, if it's
Yes, it has that. I mean, I don't know if that's where they got it. That's really my question. How they
listed on GPS, just like that, and Google is gonna pull those signals too. It's gonna pull signals. I mean, just basically to make sure that it maps everything correctly. It's still gonna pull GPS, and so forth. So that's probably how that happens. I'm not gonna have all the answers, but I know people that do. And that's what I always say too. I'm very, very fortunate to have a group of a very good support system around me. Nexstar has really paid attention, when it comes to digital, and we have the tools that we need. I have a system that I have direct control over everything. If we want to change anything midstream, I do it and it's done. We don't wait 24 hours. We don't wait 48 hours to talk to somebody in Boston or Houston or someplace like that. I mean, it's done here. And my whole modus operandi is to help. I just want to help. Yes.
So right now I have my personal phone number on my website and on Google, but I was going to potentially do the Google Voice. Will that mess things up? Or no, I just make those changes on the Google profile and on my website and then they'll still
I
find.
think you just make the changes. It may take a little bit, It takes, it takes a little bit for Google to crawl that new information, but it'll eventually.
So afraid to do anything. I feel like I'm gonna mess things up.
I mean,
No, and I'm afraid to make any change because if I screw up all, it's just.
if you have any issues, give me a call. Oh. I apologize that I got over here and I said, this will be my first time doing something like that. I didn't bring any cards. But like I said,
Brought my cards, so.
I will be sending you a PDF of this presentation and it'll have all that. Well, yeah, then you get over my head and I'm gonna have to get the answer from somebody else, but it's okay. I mean, like I said, when that happens, I learn too. So, and for me, it's a constant learning thing. I mean, I'm 62 years old. I mean, the people that are actually pushing buttons could be my grandkids, but that's okay. I've just always, years ago, someone had told me this and it really rang true for me. There's only one thing in this world that's constant, and that's change. If you don't change, you're on the risk of being left behind. And I've always tried to improve, tried to just learn things, as I've. Thank you. Fire hose back up if you want.
And I'm gonna leave you with one thing I learned from Brett, which was really fascinating to me, is when you take a picture with your phone, it gives us a nice name like 2023 1107, whatever. And you don't know what it is. Google looks at that. If you post that picture on your website, you need to change the name to a descriptive name. So Google will say, this picture doesn't make sense to me.
Google can't see a picture. Google's looking at the text that's behind it. Well, up there. So, you have eyes.
Change the name of the picture from
Google's out there, so.
2023 1107 to chest of drawers with mahogany accents
And put your business name in there. I mean,
another way to.
a chest of drawers from X company. Yeah.
Dylan, is that what you were talking about? Like, that's what you do is go.
Exactly. I go and I put.
Any keyword.
Yes. Yeah, I'll say what the picture is and then I'll put in my business name, I'll put in my services. Does it matter if it's, I kind of feel like this is internet jargon. I separate it with commas. Is there a preferred method? If there's not commas, does Google not know how to discern what's what?
I don't think that's one way to do it.
Yeah, like every element, you go behind the scenes of your webpage, you can name the page has information, each individual element, you can tap into it, it has information, you can update literally almost every element on your webpage. And I didn't know how redundant to be, but it makes sense. You're just gonna continue to expand that digital footprint.
Yeah, exactly. And as you're doing that, using similar or same verbiage as you're doing that, it just ties everything back to your website, everything back to you, your word.
A lot of work to do.
I didn't know this was gonna be so focused on SEO, but I love it. SEO is interesting. But after meeting with our man Ted here, I asked him for recommended reading and he said, what's the old boy's name? Jeffrey Gitomer's Little Red Book of Sales. I highly recommend it. Thought it was fantastic.
Short read. That's my attention span, Actually, thank you for Greg, thank you so much. And if anybody wants to meet with Brett or with me, I do have cards. We can set up an appointment. Most of you I've met with at least once, which is great. And bring Brett along on the call or personally or in person.
Whatever, I share my screen and
talk about more stuff.